not going to BlurCon
Oh.
because the job wouldn't allow me out. Slavery. But no, I am going to MomoCon, which is coming up next month. All of my Atlanta people, I hope to see y'all there. And I am doing a Naruto kimono cosplay. I was supposed to cosplay as Tamari, but the girl that was supposed to make my fan, she kind of backed out.
Damn.
So that's going to be shot, which pissed me off. But I can't get upset about that.
Well, you can always use smaller fans and go as Katana.
No, I could, but no, Katana, me and her outfit,
Yeah, I feel you.
She tiny, I'm fat. It don't work out. It don't work out.
So honest. As for me, I got a new job. I remember if I told you guys last podcast. I got a new job, and so now my commute has gone from just being 25 minutes to literally a whole hour back and forth each way. And if I don't leave at exactly 6 in the morning to get to work and 4 p.m. to leave from work, then my commute gets extended by 30 minutes to an hour both ways. So
oh my God,
I've definitely been off my streaming horse. Like I've been super inconsistent, but I should be moving at the end of May, and so things should be a whole lot better from there.
Oh, so, that's right. Did you guys get your house or find your house or whatever?
I was house hunting, but I don't know if I'm gonna stay in Orlando for more than a year, so I'm just gonna rent instead and just save my money, save my pocket change.
That's the smart thing.
So for those of you guys who are toughing it out right now with a 2-hour plus commute, 2 trains, 2 buses, etc., big ups to you. Like big ups to you, because I cannot do that. It's stressing me out. I had like a crazy road rage incident because I was so stressed out, and I was so tired of this pickup truck being behind me. But you know what? I don't want to snitch on myself, so I'm just gonna leave that story right there.
Man,
we're gonna have to talk about this all stream.
Road rage. Let's have road rage stories, because I have those every damn day.
Like, well, it's pretty foolish. It's pretty foolish what I did. I don't want to, I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one. I just want to say that it's not worth it. Like, if there's somebody who's on your ass and like you're chasing them down, you can kind of tell what happened. It's not worth it, because like when you catch up to them, what are you gonna do? Like I had to think about that too. Like after the incident was over, I'm like, yo, I'm in Florida. There's guns all up and down I-95. Like this is the hub for guns to come in from South America here to be distributed everywhere. There's been several cases where people had just pulled out a gun in a road incident and started banging, and that could have been me. And I'm not ready for that. I was in a rental car at that, so whoever's car got shot would not have even been mine. So.
I mean, it wouldn't have been your fault either, because it was a rental car. You had insurance too, though. So.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to be in a hospital bed with looking like Swiss cheese.
True. I'm sorry. I'm the most horrible person to talk to this about. I am an advocate for road rage.
An advocate? No, you're gonna get these people hurt.
I'm from Atlanta, and I believe in driving etiquette. Turn your blinkers on, or at least do the little hand thing to get my attention. Yeah. Don't you dare just squeeze your ass in front of me and cut me off, because then where I'm going no longer matters, because I'm following you.
Word, right? Like, Wolup said, he said, I had someone follow me to my job because he cut me off, and I had to smash my brakes and honk. Bro, like what happened with me, I was on a highway where we're doing 70 and I was doing 85. And there was already like a pickup truck. There's a pickup truck behind me trying to go 95, trying to go past me. And there was already cars that was like on my right. There was like maybe 2 cars on my right. They were doing like 80. And there's only a 2-lane highway. So like we're all going way over the speed limit. And this pickup truck was trying to make me go even faster. Prior to that pickup truck coming behind me, there was a car that was like when I merged onto the road, it was not like 3 lanes go to 2. It was just you merge onto the second lane. And the car didn't want to let me in, so like we almost had like a little collision because he wouldn't slow down. We almost had a little collision because he wanted to beat me to the exit, like beat me to merging onto the highway. Like I had enough room to merge, but he wanted to beat me to it for whatever reason, and he didn't like that, so he started high beaming me for about 10 minutes. So I was already primed to have like a moment when that pickup truck came behind me. And so when the pickup truck came behind me, I'm just like, you know what? I ain't moving any faster than I already am. I'm going pretty fast. I'm gonna have to be super extra in order to get out of his way. He's gonna have to just wait. And that incident turned to like a 20-minute extended incident. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. And like
say it wasn't worth it, but was your day messed up or was his day messed up?
I would say my day was messed up because had the police been there, I'd have probably went to jail for speeding. Like, well, right for sure. That. And so the reason why I want to share this is because I don't want no one else to get caught up in that bullshit. I mean, you can follow Harley's advice if you want, but I don't want nobody to get caught up in that bullshit of having somebody like you want to take your anger out on somebody because the only thing you do is smash your car or worse. Like there's nothing good that can happen from a road rage incident. I promise you.
Okay. Well, then Cyforce is like the little angel on your shoulder. Yeah. I'm definitely the freaking devil on your shoulder. I'm like, do it. They rude. They think they gonna bully me. I've been bullied enough.
Honestly, right? like you feel like you're being bullied. Like you feel like you're being bullied off the road, and the road is for everyone to share. Like we're all speeding. Like why are you trying to go even faster? Where you got to go? And the dude was in the car by himself.
I can understand if you guys had like a 4-lane road, but you said you guys have a 2-lane.
A 2-lane road.
No.
Yeah, it's like relax. Where you going? And like I said, the speed limit was 70, and I was already like way over the speed limit. So he was just trying to. I don't know where he was going, but it wasn't an emergency. I can promise you, it was not an emergency because once he passed me, he had time to fuck with me. So it was not an emergency by any means. Willup says, if you see a car crash and you're cutting it close for time to get to work, would you stop to see if they're okay? All right, so it all depends, Willup. Did the car crash actively happen right in front of me, or am I just going by the car crash? Because like I've had that happen before where, all right, so one day, it was like maybe 2015, I was coming back home from work and I was driving down this road. There's the road was like about 5 lanes. So there's 3 going forward. No, there's 2 going forward, 2 lanes I was to make a right turn on an intersection, and then 1 lane on the far left side to make a left turn on the same intersection.
Yeah.
At this intersection, there's a McDonald's there, and there was a pickup truck that was coming from the McDonald's to make to go across 5 lanes to make a left turn across the intersection. So this this is like rush hour, so this road is packed, and everyone basically split the road like Moses, so this man can get across to get across 5 lanes to go make his left turn. Well, there was a dude in like the second to the left lane on a motorcycle, and he didn't slow down. All the traffic slowed down because there was a red light. And like I said, we were all split. But the motorcycle, he wasn't trying to slow down. He was trying to move through cars to get to the front. And the pickup truck came across, and that motorcycle slammed. Boom! Like he T-boned and went splat right against the pickup truck. I saw that shit happen in slow motion. He literally looked like a fly that got a fly swatter go splat right against the truck.
That's not funny.
He slowed down a little bit, but he bounced off that. He bounced off that pickup truck door like a pinball machine hitting a bumper. Like he went boom. There's like a big ass dent right in the middle of the truck. And that man, he was a soldier. He fell off his bike and he got up and was just like, God damn. Had his hands on his knees and he was just like, damn. And like the dude in the pickup truck was like, oh my God, I didn't see you. Oh my God. And that shit happened right in front of me. It was literally I think there was 1 car between me and the pickup truck. So I saw it happen. I even saw it happen in my left side mirror. When the green light came, I just eased on over to the right, eased on over to the left, and went forward. There was already people who got out their car to go help him, so there was no need for me to do anything. All I needed to do was get out the way and make space. So that was as much as I could help in that situation.
Hey, Major.
What's up, Major? How you going? Tila, I see you. Cycles accidents are always the worst. Yeah, so the dude, I don't know. I don't think he even broke anything because he probably went maybe 15 miles an hour into the car, but he got wrecked. He absolutely got wrecked by that moment.
For me, I guess it depends. Like you said, if it happens in front of me, then maybe I'll pull over. Just to see okay, it's in front of me. Nobody else let me come over here. But if I'm driving past it and it's already people over there, no, I'm going about my business.
Yeah, because honestly,
people cause more issues.
Absolutely, you honestly get in the way when oh, I want to help. All right, so what are you gonna do? The most you can do in that situation is call the cops. If that man was on the ground, drag him to the side of the road so that he's not impeding traffic, and then wait. Aside from that, it's not much else you can do except wait and just be present. So that's the closest I've ever got to something like that. Willup says cycle accidents are always the worst. And then he said, why is that always everyone's reaction? I don't know. What are you talking about, Willup? You got to explain. Well, while we wait on that, Harley, let's get a little bit lighter note. Let's talk about some game news.
Okay, so I got a few. What I do in my gaming news is I pick up the stuff that's like I think is hilariously funny or good information. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna start off with some good stuff for all my Sony people. The PS5 specs have officially come out. Yay. Oh, Major, we're gonna get there. We got a schedule to keep to, but you coming. So the Sony PS5 specs have come out. From the sounds of it, this sounds like a beast of a machine, but they still haven't given us a release date. A lot of people are still projecting 2020, and probably 2020 is what's going to be it, because Sony is not going to be at E3 this year, unfortunately.
Not at all?
From what I heard, not at all.
They probably going to have their own little thing. They see what Nintendo's doing with Nintendo Direct, and they're like, we want some of that traffic too.
True, but E3 has always been the biggest thing for Sony. Like, I don't know if Sony nowadays has that much traction behind it for them to be able to go off and branch to a Sony exclusive showcase or whatever. Now that, you know, they were being bullied by Microsoft for the crossplay and stuff like that. But no, so PS5, little bit of specs about it. It's going to have an SSD drive. So,
okay,
yes.
Nice. That's fast
and
right? Loading.
Fast as hell. Also, it's going to be backwards compatible. Hey, thanks for the host, B.
Thank you so much for the host. I don't know why that alert box not going, but keep talking.
Let's see what else. So, yep, no release dates for Sony. Major said that it's been announced for a while. What's been announced for a while? Oh, you talking about them not being at E3? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Next one is Overwatch, which is my favorite thing. Okay. Overwatch has an official beer.
An official beer?
An official disgusting beer. Tila, why do you constantly say something so controversial?
I gotta see what she said.
Oh my God. I have all three systems, so I'm not, like, I take that back. Yes, I am. I love Sony. I'm sorry. I love Sony. But anyway, back to my gaming news. Overwatch has an official beer. Bud Light is the official beer of Overwatch. And I don't know how y'all feel about that. I'm not a Bud Light drinker, but apparently a lot of people in America are. Mm-hmm. Are you a beer drinker?
I recently became one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say. I recently became one. I wouldn't say I'm like a connoisseur or nothing like that, and I'm not gonna say that when I go out to a club or something, I'm gonna ask for a Bud Light or a Budweiser. Like, I'm past my college days, but I've been trying like exotic stuff that's like 10% alcohol and up. Like one of my favorite ones is called Dragon's Milk. And it's made by this.
I love Dragon's Milk.
Oh, you know about that? Yeah,
word. It's a good stout, man.
It's made by like a Dutch company, I think.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it's Dutch or German, but it tastes delicious. It's nice and it's silky smooth. And I would have never associated that with the beer when I was a kid.
Tiffany said they suspended her account because of PayPal chargeback. I'm so sorry. Yo, Barkeep hit me up with that Overwatch brew. We got to stay on the payload. Thank you.
What is it? What does it taste like, that Overwatch brew?
It's Bud Light. That's it.
Yeah. Blizzard and Overwatch is having a. Why wouldn't Blizzard have a collaboration with Coors Light? Because they're all about the mountains, the Rocky Mountains, and having their stuff cold, and they're called Blizzard. Like, that would make more sense.
I was thinking, why not Blizzard, compare like each one of their characters from a different country to a different beer.
That's like a lot of work.
With Reinhardt, they could have had a German beer, I don't know how to pronounce it. It starts with an L. It's really good. With Lucio, they could have did a Brazilian beer. I mean, something like that.
I feel you.
But they chose Bud Light, and Bud Light is helping sponsor the Homestead weekends that Overwatch is doing.
Okay.
See, yeah, I thought so too. That'd be really dope. I do love flavored soju. Oh, stop! You get me off topic. Hold on.
Me and Major had flavored soju when we were at Extra Life United. It was delicious. It tastes like, I want to say like Kool-Aid and alcohol.
No, it does. It doesn't hit you.
Okay. I thought I had that right.
Yeah. My uncle was stationed in Korea, and when we were living in Germany, he would send it over to us, and my aunt and I would drink soju, and my dumb ass, I didn't know it was alcohol because I didn't taste it, so I'm just knocking them back with my auntie.
Oh, you're just being reckless, huh?
I am so fucking going off my ass.
You're just being reckless with it.
There's probably some video out of Harley just laying on the floor singing something. I don't know. But yeah.
Potential employers, please disregard that video. She's an excellent worker. Just disregard that video.
You know what? Potential employers in Korea who enjoy drinking, call me. We can do this. We can do this.
She can help you sell it. She could be your next promoter.
We can do this. But yeah, so Bud Light is going to be sponsoring their Homestead weekends. Apparently, Overwatch is moving on up to the big leagues now. They're branching out to other stadiums and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, so their first one is this weekend in Texas. I know Paris Eternal and somebody else is playing. The next one is going to be in Atlanta, which I definitely plan on going to. Because Atlanta Reign, of course, is going to be playing. Got to root for the home team because we beat New York. Okay. And I can't remember what the last one is. Please don't shoot me for that because I didn't write it down. But there's one more. I can't remember where it is.
Oh, man.
So that's that. Yeah.
Controversial topic. So New York is owned by the Mets, I believe, the New York Mets baseball team. But I think at least last year their whole team was Korean. Like
their whole team is still Korean,
and not even Korean American, like just Korean, like straight from Korea. So I have an issue rooting for that team as a New York team because it's not really a local team. It's just owned by some New Yorkers. So I don't know. I have issues with that. I can't root for them. I've been rooting for, I guess, Florida Mayhem because they have events out here in Central Florida.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like having them called by their city's name when they don't represent the city at all. I just have issues with that.
I had the same issue with Atlanta. Like the same exact issue because Atlanta, a lot of people don't know, but Atlanta has a giant gaming community, like a huge freaking gaming community. So you're telling me out of all the top, however PC players, however y'all chose to get people on this team, not one person from Atlanta could have made the team? Not one?
It's not about local talent. It's all about just marketing.
But even then, I would have been okay if they had at least a black person on the team.
Oh, but you're asking for a lot now.
Kodak's black, but he's from Germany. But y'all could have had at least some chocolate on this damn team. Atlanta. We in Atlanta.
I want to get to chat real quick.
Fine. New York's a whole mixing pot of everybody. Cool. Londoners got their team. They got people from London all over there. Texas, fine. When I see Texas, all I think about is Yeehaw country, so I don't care. But Atlanta? The blackest black city in America, and you telling me you couldn't get one black? Ooh,
well, we got to make it grassroots, and we got to start from the bottom with the Boys and Girls Clubs hosting Overwatch tournaments. And perhaps maybe in about 10 years or 15 years, we can start seeing some more black people in esports perform at the highest level.
Cake Pop says we have to get black folks in contenders first. That's where a lot. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But I'm saying they're being overlooked. You know what? I'm going to do a IRL stream for MomoCon when MomoCon weekend comes up. And I'm going to find those Overwatch players because I know there are some.
Yeah, we out here.
I know it.
Like, I'm a diamond player, but...
And I know there's some in the top 500 who just not being picked.
That is... I think I've seen a couple top 500 players on Twitter who were like showing like their top 500 and just waxing people. I can't think of their names though. So if anyone knows who I'm talking about, there's this one guy on Twitter who posts a Farrah clip. Please post it here so we can shout him out and maybe we can get him into contenders. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Tila, I'm not gonna ignore the fact that you said Kool-Aid was trash, but I mean it.
You know what?
From a health standpoint, it is just sugar water purple. So
have a whole thing for them.
Wait. That's coming. It's coming.
Okay. Last little bit of information. If you guys are in Arizona, COTS Elite Internet is doing a limited trial for their Elite Gaming Internet for an extra $15 a month. Apparently, they are putting out like the best, fastest, she said trash, fastest internet that you can get. But right now, they are only testing it in Tucson, Arizona. So that's number one. I thought that was really cool because I know out here I need good internet right now. I'm with Spectrum and it's trash.
Yeah, Spectrum owns the whole Southeast.
Man, I really wish I can get Xfinity out here, but I'm kind of in the boonies and it's not gonna work. Cox is trash. I agree. Look, Cox are not out here. I'm just giving you the news.
Cox is trash, and the Northeast is optimal.
You the news, okay, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you the news.
These monopolies are out here. I'll tell you that. Net neutrality for the win. Word.
No, you're right. Spectrum is trash. Comcast ain't that much. Okay, Major. Who not? I think you're just saying people trash because...
I don't know. Spectrum is not... I don't think it's trash because every time there's like a lightning strike, every time that a hurricane has come by, I've always maintained my internet. So
you a lie.
No, I swear. As a New Yorker coming down here to Florida, like I've dealt with Hurricane Irene, which was nothing much. Hurricane Sandy, which was crazy. I came down here in 2015. I think we had Hurricane Matthew in 2016, and then Hurricane Irma in 2017. Irma just wrecked the whole state. It came right down from south to north through Florida. Like there's flooding everywhere, like 125-mile-an-hour gusts. But me personally, in my condo, I did not lose electricity. My ice cream did not melt. My milk did not spoil, and I maintained internet. So, big ups to Spectrum. Big ups to Spectrum.
No, man. Every time there is a little wind, a little thunder, a little lightning, a little shaking of the trees, my internet gets spotty as shit. Okay? For the last, I think Denny's been having bad internet too, and he's nowhere near me. But for the last like 2 weeks, I think I've missed on a couple of anime shows just because my Crunchyroll was not working because the internet was fucking up.
Yeah.
So I got some catching up to do.
I guess where you live too plays a huge factor because I live in a very affluent white neighborhood next to a hospital. So when the power goes out, since we're on the same circuit as the hospital, we don't go out.
There you go.
Like they prioritize our area because we're so close in proximity to a hospital. So I guess, I'm a little biased. Maybe I'm the outlier and Spectrum is trash after all.
Maybe I need to move closer to a hospital.
Yeah, right? Major says that he rocked AT&T fiber and they're trash too. So what isn't trash? Just Google Fiber?
I want Google Fiber. I want it to come out here so bad.
What's so special about it?
I don't know. I'm a Google person.
And how does it compare to Verizon Fios? Because they got fiber optic too.
Well, Atlanta and Verizon, not Atlanta, Jesus, AT&T and Verizon fiber won't work out here. Like, because I'm in the boonies. Mm-hmm. So for some reason, I can't get it out here. Okay, I can get that AT&T like dial-up bullshit. But hey, Woo, I see you sneaking in here. But for some reason, it won't reach out here. So I don't know anything about those fibers.
Buying real estate, live next to a hospital. I see you, fam. Google Fiber here in NC is $70 a month. AT&T is $90 a month. I think my Spectrum, I got TV, 200 megabytes down, 20 up for $74 a month. Mm-hmm. So I don't have a landline here, so that's pretty cool.
I would say, I only have internet and I don't even use basic cable. And I can't remember exactly what my up and downs are, but I only pay like $60 a month.
Yeah, we out here, we winning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then last little bit of news, Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC does not have a release date yet. And then Respawn has pushed back Titanfall's plans because they want to continue to work on Apex. And that, my people, is the news.
Didn't Kingdom Hearts just release Critical Mode? What's that all about?
Hey, I don't play Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, all right. Well,
I'm just giving you the news.
I don't know nothing about that. So for those of you guys who are into the hard genre like I am, World War Z just released April 16th. Days Gone just released yesterday, April 26th.
I gotta go pick up Days Gone.
So feel free to pick up either one of those. So just note, for Days Gone, it's a lot like Red Dead Redemption with zombies. It's very, 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 very slow paced. Like they always show the trailers of you running away from the hordes and things like that, but they don't show all the downtime in between. It's very. I feel like it's very much like Red Dead Redemption. I didn't know about that, so there goes your little 10-second review.
I didn't like Red Dead Redemption. I took
there you go.
Back.
There you go. So
I'm sad.
But World War Z is I love that game. It's just like Left 4 Dead, except way more zombies than before. They definitely need to do some updating with adding special zombies. I think they're adding in a new level in Tokyo, and they're adding in a character. To me, she seems like the witch, but we'll see. But that game is excellent. I love their level up system, their class system with their weapons. Just the class system overall, where each individual person has a unique role, and if you don't play a role, you're going to get wrecked on the harder levels. On normal, you can kind of just do whatever you want. Yeah. But definitely pick those two games up.
Are we using Sekiro instead of Dark Souls now? You know what? Probably, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm reading chat.
I'm reading too.
K-Pop was saying Critical Mode is the Sekiro version of Kingdom Hearts, which I'm guessing is just the new difficulty level. And then Linux is like, are we using that instead of Dark Souls?
Okay.
Probably.
Sekiro is the first Souls game that looked vaguely interesting to me, so yeah. A lot of people have been playing Sekiro lately. A lot. Shout out to Jermaine's Plays. He's been playing that for like the last month. So for those of you guys who have seen the podcast, what am I saying seen? Listen to the podcast, the actual Cookout podcast. There's a lot of great topics that were spoken about, and I wanted to talk about some of those today. First of all, Major, you and I, we have to get on the podcast together and finally like hash out us having Korean barbecue and our opinions on eating Korean barbecue for the first time, because you and I keep mentioning it like
out last time.
I don't know. I don't think we were on the same podcast, but the topic always comes up, and I swear we're gonna see each other at either BlurCon or at TwitchCon, and it's still gonna be a running joke. Like, it's gonna forever be a running joke. But I just want to let you know, I hear you. I love it. Let's keep that talk going, and we have to have Korean barbecue again, because now that you've been to Korean barbecue already, now you gotta cook. There's no excuses.
I want some Korean barbecue now.
Tila and Major were trying to light a fire under everyone's butt and say
complete fire.
Say that, well, Tila just tried to do it right now. She said Kool-Aid is trash. She said mac and cheese is trash. Oh. What else did she say was trash? I can't remember.
Potato salad was trash.
Potato salad is trash. But then she proceeds to elaborate that it was the way that her family made it, that it conditioned her to not like it. But you had to. There was like 40 minutes in between from when she first said that, and then she admitted that second part. My hands are not in camera. My bad. But that was like, it was like a big ass duration. So like I was already damaged. I was already hurt when she said that she thought it was trash.
Oh my god. And then Major was saying that he doesn't like a lot of Southern food, and I was like, okay, that's fine, I get that. And then he too said macaroni and cheese is trash, and that's when like my ears stopped working, because I was just like, I will not take this mac and cheese slander.
So we are having a little bit of a, how do I say this, health revolution in terms of how healthy those foods are for you. They're trash. They're absolutely trash.
You can make them healthy if you want to.
That is like the bane of our people having high blood pressure, diabetes, like heart disease,
agreed,
kidney failure, all kind of hypertension, like all kind of mess like that. Collard green, like all those fatty foods have been the bane of our people for a long time. But there's a way to make those foods healthy and still as delicious as they are.
Yeah,
we just gotta put forth that effort. We just gotta put forth that effort.
Delicious.
So what I wanted to know from the people, from the cookout, when other cultures take this kind of food and they add a twist to it, they make it healthier, is that cultural appropriation? Like if we go to a cookout and we see that they have raisins in a potato salad, will we say that's cultural appropriation to our potato salad? Or like, honestly, do we as black people claim potato salad in the first place? I want to know from the people.
I don't claim potato salad. Like, I don't know who started potato salad. My mom actually did pasta salad. It was like the pasta, the little rigatoni pastas and stuff like that with the olive oil and crap like that. So I didn't have potato salad until I went to like a barbecue, my first barbecue in Atlanta. But putting raisins or anything else in potato salad that doesn't belong is not cultural appropriation. It's trifling as hell. That's what it is. It's trifling.
King Pop says that's a reach. It's definitely a reach. But I saw on a video, I think it was like a Tasty video on Facebook. Tasty's owned by BuzzFeed, and they were showing all different types of ways to make cornbread. And in one of them, they put actual corn niblets in the cornbread. It did not sound good to me. I wouldn't call that cultural appropriation.
No, it's not cultural appropriation. It's trifling. That's what that is.
But when
that's what it is.
But when Americans create when Americans create tacos, I said Americans, and create Taco Bell, would that be considered cultural appropriation? Because in Mexico, where we borrowed that idea from, those aren't called tacos. Those are tostadas. The hard shell tacos.
Yeah.
What we call hard shell tacos, those are tostadas, and their tacos are the soft shell, like the flour. I don't know if it has to be flour or corn based, but the soft ones. They call those tacos. So I want to know, is that cultural appropriation?
Where was Taco Bell built? Wasn't the first Taco Bell in
like the 50s? I think maybe earlier than that.
Never mind. I in my black head thought it was in Arizona, but it wasn't. It was in San Bernardino, California.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah.
And then the guy who opened it had a hot dog stand first called Bell's Drive-In. And then he opened a hamburger, and then he went to Taco Bell. So
yo, Tila and Major are going ham to saying that's trash. That's trash. Listen, I never said mac and cheese.
She said I said the UK ways of cooking it is trash.
Okay.
She said, but you said that after you slandered it.
Yeah, you did. She did.
Tila, you started off macaroni cheese trash, potato salad trash,
Word.
And then da, and then you said, well, the way that they make it in, because that's when you went into your homemade versus box. And then I was like, oh, okay, I hear you now, but my ears still hear the slander that began this whole conversation. So
yeah. So I guess what I want to get.
I'm sorry. Cultural exchange is inevitable and good. The amount of things I eat that originate in other countries is countless, but I don't think it's appropriation. I agree with you. I think food and the two things that I think are universal are food and music. I think those are just something that blends and finds itself within different cultures. And like she said, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. I think the difference is how you appreciate it and how you take it. Because we can take different foods that come from other countries. I love freaking sushi. You know what I'm saying? But I would never say black people make sushi. I guess it depends on how you take it. But food and music, I think, are just something that's always gonna in exchange, to use the word that K-pop used.
That's exactly what I want to get to. Where is the when is the line crossed when you get from cultural exchange to cultural appropriation? Because we always view cultural appropriation as a negative thing, and almost always, unless you're part of the alt-right, we see cultural exchange. We see cultural appropriation as negative. Cultural exchange is not positive, but it's not a bad thing. It's something that happens when you get two different groups of people together and they begin to exchange ideas. And oh, I didn't know you did it like that. It sounds a lot better than how we do it. Let me try it this way, etc., etc., etc. So for me, when is it cultural appropriation? For me, it's cultural appropriation when you're taking something from someone's culture and you don't really care for the background. You don't really value that culture. You're just taking something from somebody and making it your own. So for example, I would say the way that so for tacos, for example, with Taco Bell, it's clear. When I go to Mexico and I go to get a taco, I don't get the hard shell tacos. I get even when I get those, they call them tostadas. But we took that. We took that. We saw the same way that they fold soft shell tacos, and we're just all right, we're gonna take those hard shell ones. We're gonna call it tacos, and that's it. We're just gonna keep it simple for our people, so that way our people can understand it and they can enjoy it the way we want them to enjoy it. I would say that's appropriation. And of course, there is no appropriation without exchange, but there can be exchange without appropriation.
So I think for me, my line being a black woman, of course, in America, comes for an example, the video that I tagged you in on Twitter with the Korean girl that got box braids.
Yeah.
For me, it's a hard line like that with you taking stuff from another culture and not understanding the just behind it, not understanding the history behind it, and then the country looking at you better with it than they would me. For example, Korean girl got box braids in her hair, and basically she got kind of dragged a little bit for getting box braids. And in the video, she said that she went and educated herself about the hair, you know, about the history behind it and things like that. Black women have always been put down for having braids in our hair, but whenever freaking Kim Kardashian get her boxer braids, or Chloe come around with individuals, or, you know, any other white girl, yes, Jules, I'm putting you in here too, any other white girl that, you know, gets hair that a lot of black people originated, and they're seen as, you know, edgy, they're seen as fashion forward. But then when I get it, I'm ghetto and I'm unprofessional. That for me is cultural appropriation. Another example would be, and I might get some slack for this, I don't care. A lot of the lighter Rastafarians that are getting dreads, or a lot of the other non-melanated people that get locks and things like that. Like, that's, I'm not gonna touch that. I'm not even gonna touch that. So, your hair's not made for that. So why would you do that? There's a history behind that. You know?
It seems to me like that cultural, like we get mad when one group of people, when they do something that's ours, and I guess if they're allowed to do it within their society. So for example, like when a white girl, she has like natural curly hair and she like blows it out into an afro. And she comes to work like that, and her coworkers are like, "Oh, wow, that looks really nice." But if like a black girl were to do that and she were to get this like penalized for it, I think we're more upset over the discrimination. So not so much as that they took this and try to make it theirs. I think when you do it in a disrespectful way, like when white people dress up and say if they want to be like Foxy Cleopatra from Austin Powers and Goldmember, when they don the afro and they don the 70s disco gear, it's all cool. But when they put blackface on, then it's like, all right, like this is you're becoming, it's dissing us now. Like we know
Hold
that
on,
you're
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Tila said something I want to address. She said if someone is rostered, then it doesn't matter the shade. Of course, Tila, that's why I said some. Yeah. That's why I said some. I didn't say all, because I do know some light and white Rastafarians that, you know, are real. I do know some of them, but that's why I said some. I didn't want to generalize everybody, because I know some white people also that want to claim Rastafarians that's really just hippie and want to smoke weed. That's why I said some.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious. Like, that's why I said some, because I don't want to like take away from the ones that are actually understand the religion and understand it, and, you know, group them in with the ones that don't. So I just wanted to address that. I'm sorry.
So there is definitely on a spectrum. I like the exchange to appropriation, because it's definitely on a spectrum. There's definitely those people who do certain actions and they're just maybe ignorance too harsh of the word, but they don't understand where they're coming from, where their action is coming from. They just saw that it looks cool and they want to do it themselves. And then there's those people who are actively, that's all the far end of the spectrum, who are actively trying to disrespect the culture that they're imitating. So like for Halloween, when you dress up like a American Indian, you put the feather in your hair, you bronze your skin, and you just walk around going, that is disrespectful.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I can't see what a respectful version of that would be. I guess if you're doing that in a play and it serves a purpose to tell a story. But aside from that,
I don't know. I don't have the knowledge to speak on Native American, like, you know, things like that, to say what's correct and what's not correct.
I'd love to have y'all on the podcast so we can learn.
I would love to. Yeah, of course. So I don't want to say, you know, what would be correct, because I don't know. But as far as like black stuff that I can talk about, I know about that. So yeah.
Word.
Yeah, man. But my biggest thing is if they educate themselves and understand from it, I think cultural appropriation can be a discussion that can be had, and it can be a way for education. That's it.
Facts.
I just want people to educate themselves. Educate why we get upset. Educate why, you know, we see this as bad. Don't take it as, oh, I'm just being a snowflake, or, oh, I'm always upset about something. No, educate yourself. And that's what the girl in the video did, which we'll post the video in the Discord channel if anybody wants to watch it. And I clapped it up for her. I thought it was a great thing to do. And she didn't take her hair down because in the video you can see her taking her box braids down. She didn't take her box braids down because she got, shit on about it. She was taking them down because it was time for them to come out. But while she was doing that, she was then educating everybody else about what she learned. So
that definitely, if you read that subtitle, it definitely showed a different image of her taking it out as she's educating the people about the origin of braids and how it relates to African culture. Because when I saw it initially, and when I saw other people commented on Twitter, it made it seem like their anger was making her take her braids out.
Exactly.
And that was making me feel angry because I'm like, she looks really good with the braids on. Like, she looks really good. She looks beautiful with her braids on. Like, they shouldn't force her to take it out. They should just be educating her on the history behind it, because I'm sure she don't know. That's not, well, I don't know what Korean braids, like, braids have originated in Korea. I don't know what those look like, but it seemed to me that was the right thing to do, just to educate her on it, not be like, take it out. And I've seen a lot of gatekeeping when it comes to things like that, where people, they're not trying to educate, they're trying to be like, this is ours and no one else is allowed to have that.
Yeah. Cake Pup says exchange feels more like admiration and appreciation than disregard, if that makes sense. And appropriation is ignorance. Gatekeeping without education is useless. Thank you so much.
Facts.
Yes, we talked about gatekeeping
last podcast.
Well, I mean, it was during the anime thing, but we talked about that in the last podcast. So y'all know how I feel about gatekeeping. So, like, again, my whole thing is culture appropriation. If you see it, it's an open discussion for education. And if that person takes the education, then perfect. That's another person that understands. And if that person doesn't take education, then I don't want to say, what happened, because I'm hood. So we don't know. But But yeah, I don't know. How did we get on this from macaroni?
We went from mac and cheese. And I went for like the ultra reach question to say that if putting raisins in potato salad is cultural appropriation.
That's right. You reached
because I was reaching like Dalzim from Street Fighter. I was going all the way over, bro. But
get over here, Scorpion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did it on purpose because I wanted to have like an extreme version of that, and I wanted to see like, okay, if we're here at this extreme, what is it really? The ultra, she said, LOL, the ultra reach. If you make your mac and cheese nasty, have you appropriated our good stuff? Yeah. If you eat, yeah.
Oh my God. Cake. She's hilarious. I love it. There was something else that I wanted to touch on that Major brought up in the podcast, which he technically didn't bring it up. But what he said, like, made me think about it. So they were talking, and I think I'm getting sick, y'all. I'm sorry. They were talking, and Major was saying that he was from the South, but he doesn't like anybody to know he's from the South. So he started to change, like, how he would talk and stuff like that. And I was like, that's code switching, my man. I was like, we do that all the damn time.
All the time.
So my question to chat and things like that was like, when did you discover code switching? I can give my story. So growing up, again, I grew up in the hood in Atlanta, Zone 3, Perry Homes, Bankhead. If y'all know what that is, you know. And everybody talked like me. Like, we all didn't pronounce the T's in Atlanta. The last one, we didn't, know what I'm saying was, know what I'm saying. And it wasn't until I got my first mentor, who was from Michigan, and she was a law professor, and I would babysit for her and hang out with her, and she would take me to like Jack and Jill events. And it wasn't until I hung out with her that I realized, man, I sound different from these people that's here. And then I would try to like emulate and talk like them. And that's when I first discovered code switching, because she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm trying to speak, I didn't say proper at first. I said, I'm trying to speak white. That's what I said. And she was like, there is no speaking white. There's proper English and there's correct enunciation. And she was like, what you're doing is code switching. And then I was like, what the hell is that? So she was the one that told me what code switching is. And since then, I found myself like doing that a lot. Like even right now, the way I'm talking on the podcast, I feel myself switching from hood Harley to like educated, I got a degree Harley, But so when Major said that, I was like, damn, I didn't think people actually did that because they didn't want people to know where they were from. So
I think this is like, you can think I got this out of nowhere, but I feel like when you're quote unquote woke, you begin to realize that like a lot of opinions that we have, they're not black and white. They're not absolutes. They exist on a spectrum. Even this, when we're talking about code switching, it's on a spectrum too. So for example, when we look at other cultures and we see, so for like in India, there's several dialects of their language. In China, there's several dialects of their language.
Yeah.
Like that is on a spectrum too. So when we consider something that's a dialect, like their words, like the way their alphabet is the same, but the words that they have for the same object are completely different. Just what happened?
Tila said Major changing his accent is trash.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know why you're from the South, man. Embrace it. We all love you for it. But so yeah, that exists on the spectrum. So all right, so let me get back to where I was going. So in these larger countries where their society has existed for thousands of years, there's different regions where their alphabet is the same, but the way they speak, the words that they use is completely different. For America, where our country is like only 300 something years old.
Yeah.
Our language has changed so much because we have so many different people from different cultures coming in, and also regionally because we're so far apart that our language has evolved. So you can take somebody, a black person from New York and a black person from Atlanta, and put them together in the same room, and they're going to use different slang. I would say that when I used to go from New York and visit my cousins from down south, I would, for whatever reason, put like a little twang in my voice so that I could sound a little bit similar to them, because sometimes I would say some things and they'd be like, what? Huh? What? And then when I say it a little bit like them, then they will understand it. That is a smaller, much smaller form of code switching. It's a more local version of code switching, but I think what you're trying to talk about is like it's not more extreme. When you're with your friends and you talk a certain way, it's completely different. You start throwing, F-bombs and N-bombs left and right. And then you go into the workplace, that's completely inappropriate. And you speak the way that they say is proper. You speak their form of proper English. But, for us, proper English is a form of English that you can understand. You get your communication, your message comes across. But when we talk the way we talk with each other, they can't understand it. So for them, it's improper.
Yeah.
Major said, we out here, I used Lost in the Sauce on the conference at work. And they were like, ooh, that's spicy. I like that, Major.
Engineer OG.
Call me childish, but it just reminded me of that SpongeBob episode.
Which SpongeBob episode?
The one where they're cursing like the dolphin? Because I want to know, was the dolphin noise a curse, or was that the curse being censored?
I don't want to skip over what Glitch said. She told us about her experience. She said, my mom taught me to code switch over the phone. Hold on, chat moving. Can't read. Hold on. My mom taught me to code switch over the phone so people treat me better if I have to call someone important. And you know what? That is so true. That is so true. I just didn't want her to see that we didn't skip over you. But keep going with the dolphin.
No. I was going to say, like, when you were talking about your point, it reminded me that immigrants, they code switch every day. Like when they have to go to the outside world and talk to people in English, and they come back home and they talk to people in their language. Like when you speak a language, there's a way, like even your body language is different when you're speaking a certain language compared to when you switch to something else. Like I watch my friends who are from like, Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, and when they speak, it's more animated than when I see people who are even animated speaking English. Like it's different. Like the language is more than just spoken word. So I just want to put that out there too, that code switching does not just go to when you're speaking the same language and you talk a little bit differently to please certain crowds. It also applies to completely different languages too.
Yeah, that is very true. I remember when I was when I lived in Arizona for a little bit, I lived in Glendale, and first of all, there is not a lot of black people in Arizona. Okay,
they shouldn't be. It's too hot. It's too dry.
Oh my god! And so I went to we lived on a military base out there, so I wasn't in the community, so I didn't really know. So when I went to the Walmart and I saw another black girl at the cashier line, I was like, oh, hey. And the first thing she said to me, she looked at me and she said, you're not from here, are you? And I was like, ooh. My bad. Me get my Pop-Tarts and going up out of here.
I know, right? Damn, we don't like your kind around here. Cake Pop says, I told a white man at work he was being extra and then had to explain to him what that meant. So I really want to know what words you use to explain what extra means. Because I do that sometimes too. I like sometimes my coworkers, they're talking in the cubicles and they're like talking really loud. I'm like, yo, you wildin', you need to keep your voice down. And they're like, well, what are you talking about? I'm not a wild character. I'm like, the way you just said that was super funny. Glitch Queen was talking about the next bus to Bikini Bottom. Or how about when SpongeBob, when Patrick was like, hey SpongeBob, how the are you? Yeah. Like, is that the curse or is that being censored? I really want to know. Because if so, I should be cursing at people like that. And then get thrown into a mental ward.
My household was very proper English, so I've always been treated better in certain situations because I'm quote unquote surprisingly articulate. Yeah.
And then you come to realize that articulate means that you're just speaking the way that culture is speaking, but it doesn't make you a better person. You're just speaking their language. That's all. But they associate that with, if you can speak our language properly, then you must be somebody.
You're one of the good ones.
You're one of the good ones. Facts.
Yeah.
Familiar colloquialism.
I thought when he said that, I thought that was pretty interesting because I've traveled a lot. And from Germany, like, the one thing I can say is, like, the people in Europe, and maybe I was too young and dumb to understand this, but when I taught, they was like, oh, say that again. You know, like, where you from? And when I tell them I'm from Atlanta, they were like, oh, A-Town, T.I. Like, they enjoyed it. So I don't know if that was them making a mockery of me or them actually enjoying it. But I never felt the need to really code switch around people other than, like, business people and some other people and things like that. So when he said he didn't want people to know he was from the South, I was like, oh, what? Yeah.
It's hard to know if people are making a mockery of you in the moment right then and there, unless it's very overt. Because, like, sometimes you just you could, like, we have to understand, from our standpoint, that a lot of people have not been exposed to people like us, and so when they hear it for the first time, they're like, "Oh, that was interesting. I want to hear that some more."
Yeah.
And it's not hateful whatsoever. It's more of interest, and they're expressing it in a way that's extremely awkward for us. And we have to let them know that too. Like, sir, this is awkward.
Oh, okay. I won't put my experience on a generalized experience. I would say because the type of person I am, I'm so open and free spirited with myself that it wasn't awkward for me. That's why I said I don't know, like, if I didn't get it or if it was this way. That's just because of the person I am. But I can see how some people will take that as awkward. So yeah. Hold on, I want to read what Kate said. She said, surprisingly articulate means I didn't know black folks could speak like this. While at the same time, black people themselves telling me I talk white, which I got that a lot growing up in school. And like I said, it wasn't until I went to that Jack and Jill event with other black people speaking and talking like this, that I was like, I don't sound white at all.
Yeah.
Sound country as hell. And then she said identity issues. Man, let me tell you about that. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day.
It runs deep. How much time we got? Because the podcast says that on the spreadsheet it says it's supposed to last 60 to 90 minutes, and this is a good topic.
Oops.
I'm not ready to leave right now.
33:02. So if you wanted to touch on two more things that they talked about in a podcast, we can, and then we can let people. The other thing they talked about was did you see the Ben and Jerry's 420 announcement?
I have not.
Yeah. Ben and Jerry's stay woke, bruh.
Well,
I love Ben and Jerry's so much. Yeah, I have to send it to you because you have to see it. And then, so the other thing they talked about was the UK porn age law that's going into effect July 15th. K-pop says, OMG, Ben and Jerry's the only true ally. Yes, I stand all day.
They are definitely profiting off this mess, but
the thing about Ben and Jerry's is that I love woke white people and other people that's not black.
Have you seen Get Out?
Makes other people, yes, I have. That makes other people uncomfortable. Like,
okay. So all right.
Video didn't. I know it didn't mention it. I got it from the description, sir.
Okay, so please.
The description, sir.
I'm out of the loop. I'm completely out of the loop. Tell me about this ice cream ad, or it's according to Major, it wasn't an ice cream ad, but tell me about this Ben and Jerry's ad and what they said and what they stand for, and then let's dissect it from there.
Hold on, because you know I've been off of. It's on my Twitter page, but I'm trying to stay off of Twitter because of spoilers. So I'm just gonna pull it up.
I feel you. Derby, I see you.
Yes. I'm just gonna pull it up on the Google because I refuse.
So there was something else. Oh, have you guys seen that ad? We were talking about this in the tea room. Have you guys seen that ad for Ancestry DNA? It was a Canadian Ancestry DNA. If not, you got to check it out. I'll post a link of it right here in the chat if the bot allows me to. Or we can just honestly watch it here. But it's about this black woman and this white man. The white man, he has like a ring that he shows a black woman. They're in the 1800s. And the white dude is like, come on, Abigail, let's run away. Let's run away to the north and be together. And then Ancestry shows that these two people, a black woman, white man, that they have documents on their life and that they ran away from America to Canada and started a family. And that I guess it was encouraging people who may have a mixed black-white background to go to Ancestry DNA, spit in their cup or whatever, send it to them, and find out their heritage. And it's possible that the reason why they're black and white is because the wife and husband from back in the day were in a secret love affair and ran away together to the north, and not that it happened, which is most commonly known to be abuse and rape. Feel free to check that video. I just posted it there in chat.
And I also just posted the Ben and Jerry's ad that they did for 420. Yep.
Okay.
Now let me get off of Twitter before somebody spoiled this movie for me.
Tila says, no, we weren't saying, we were saying they weren't trying to sell ice cream. It was just a PSA.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, Tila. Yes. It didn't say anything about ice cream in that whole PSA. It basically talked about 420s and it came from Ben and Jerry's. Yes. So sorry.
What was the name of it, Tila? She says the name of that it was used is Matt Shady. And Roscoe, I'm gonna get to your comment in just a moment. Trash. Wow, you got me. That was as good as saying these nuts. All right, so like she got me just then so hard. Roscoe said that's how it always happened. You didn't know, so how come there's no Disney movie about it yet? I'm waiting on that Disney movie to come out where that happens, where the white savior comes in, saves his slave mistress, and runs away to the north, and they gain whatever special powers and sing Negro spirituals all the whole way. Huh? Yeah, well, in Pocahontas she was already there, so it doesn't count. But I want to see the story of a black woman going across the Middle Passage, landing in America, and getting saved by her white savior to go up to the north in Canada. Negro spirituals all the way, okay? The whole way along. Or maybe Harriet Tubman will get turned into a Disney princess, right?
Oh my
I'm not sure.
God. Tell us how you feel, Cypher. Tell us
I'm not sure.
See, everybody else is agreeing with me with Pocahontas.
No.
Major says Cinderella. Nah.
If it's Brandy Cinderella, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, Brandy Cinderella, sure. The only Cinderella, and that's what I said. It's literally Pocahontas. That's what I said.
But Pocahontas wasn't a slave.
I mean, if you want to go to the real story, technically, maybe. It still has a white savior coming to save this brown girl and taking her away from her homeland to a quote unquote better place.
I guess you're right.
I typed that before he said black.
I guess you're right. I'm coming from the standpoint of our people, but I guess you're right. There is a white savior, and he does save her from the savage lifestyle of the Native American, right?
The Prince and Brandy's wasn't white though. No, he wasn't. He was gorgeous.
He was Pinoy.
He was gorgeous. That's what he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Filipino. He was, oh Lord, my God, Roger Hammerstein. Okay, sorry.
So I don't even remember. So I'm just sitting here silent. I'm just sitting here silent, just like, what are they talking about?
I'm sorry. Brandy was gorgeous too. She was sexy. She was beautiful. But
take them back to the 90s.
But Lord, all right, back on topic. Back on topic.
What was the topic?
I don't even remember.
I don't either. You was talking about you were Googling something. I think it was the PSA.
Oh, yeah, I posted it in the chat because
I didn't even look at it. Let me check it out so I can have an opinion.
I'm trying to stay off of Twitter. I have 4 hours before my movie starts for Endgame, and I refuse to let y'all black people spoil this for me. Refuse.
Oh,
I love y'all, but I refuse.
Okay. Wait. I could show chat this.
Oh no, they were not blunt about the message at all, and that's what I'm saying. I love when they make their people uncomfortable.
Oh,
I don't agree. Don't speak for me, please. The Prince ain't my cup of tea. That's okay, Tila. That's okay. I'll drink that whole cup of chamomile by myself.
Oh damn! Let me retweet. Talking about this live right now at twitch.tv/thecookout.
The way you type in reminds me of like the whole little trope about the black women in the office with their nails going, girl, you just don't know, girl. I'm not black, so can I sport? No, Tila. No.
I'm sorry if that's super loud. Damn, that wasn't even an ad for ice cream, like they said. That was just straight up a political ad.
Ice cream in that at all.
Wow. Well, I mean,
people were up in arms.
So Ben and Jerry's is straight up calling out. They said like the people who are profiting off cannabis right now are white. In order for us to combat that, we need to expunge all people who have a criminal record for dealing marijuana. Damn, that is a bold stand, Ben and Jerry's. I still don't like your ice cream, but this isn't that is a bold stand.
This isn't the first time that Ben and Jerry's has made a bold stand. Like honestly, I can't. Oh god,
didn't they do that too with gay marriage?
I think
you said it's not. You said it's not. Okay.
I would say this isn't the first time that they've like made people upset. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah, Ben and Jerry's been woke.
I'll make sure to mute my mic next time I type. I'm sorry.
It was hilarious to me though.
I forgot how loud that is.
So late. He said, "All right, who out here disrespecting mac and cheese?"
Oh my god! Yo,
we need a new term.
That was a whole hour ago. Yo, oh man, I was about to spoil the Avengers. Let me not.
Don't what?
I was honestly about to say something that happened in the Avengers that would completely apply to this moment right here. I'm glad I did not. I'm going to hold myself.
Friendship would be over.
I'm going to hold myself. But when it's over, we need like an extra podcast to talk about just the Avengers.
Extra podcast about.
There's like 10 to 12 movies in the making. We need an extra podcast to talk about this.
You know what?
You said, boy.
Let's work that out.
Boy.
Because I'm down for that. Marvel all day. But no, I agree with Major. We do need another word for woke because a lot of woke people make me so upset that I tell them, you know what? You so woke, you need to take a nap. You so woke, you need to go back to sleep.
It's like they're on Adderall.
Because you so woke, your insomnia is kicking in, bro. Like,
Didn't the Buddhists, didn't they like coin that term first to open up their third eye, open up your third eye and awaken?
It was either them or somebody opening up this chakra point up here. I don't know who it is. But we have taken that woke phrase, ran with it, ran it through the mud. Jesse Owens, FloJo, and all of them have taken that. It's over. So
what is a new word for woke?
I don't know. We need to make that a question in the Discord.
Aware? That sounds like a good question of the day. If we are replacing woke, what we're going to replace it with? I remember when Ratchet started becoming a word. This is I'm going on a tangent. But I remember when Ratchet started becoming a word. I'm like, do y'all mean crazy? And they're like, no, it's more specific. It's like a hood crazy. So, I mean, and like woke, woke has its purpose. It's not like awoke or awoken. Like stay woke is like being aware, like of the conspiracies that are not really conspiracies. Is what's actually happening out here. So in the podcast, I want to get back to what we were talking about. In the podcast, Tila and Major were talking about should everyone who has a criminal record in terms of using and dealing marijuana, should that be expunged? And I want to know from the chat what you guys think about that. Should people who were dealing marijuana, should people who are using marijuana, should their records be expunged?
I agree. I think so.
And and should that extend to other hard drugs too?
Oh no.
Okay.
And the only reason that I'm extending it to marijuana is just because honestly, marijuana is a plant. It's a plant, right? And if you just so happen to drop a match on this plant, or if your house catch on fire while you're growing this plant, there may be some happy side effects, but it's natural, It's natural. Hard drugs are not natural. Anything that somebody made with bleach and borax in their basement, no, you stay deep in that jail. You stay up under the jail. But as far as marijuana, yeah, I think because marijuana has affected the Black community more. We have a lot of inmates incarcerated for marijuana charges that are Black.
I think because the law exists, and that just gives law enforcement excuse to seek us out, honestly. And I want to change this music because I feel like I'm in a damn disco. I think that's all that happened. But let's get the chat real quick. I think especially in the context of weed being legalized, and yes, criminal records need correction. Other hard chemical drugs, no. I think honestly, I think that it exists on a spectrum too, where like it depends on where you are. So if you're if you're a user, you should definitely not go to jail for it, because how does that help you? How does me getting high on weed or any drug any day and getting an addiction, how does you putting me into a room for 5-10 years, how does that help me? How does that cure the depressive feeling that I needed that drug temporarily gave me, to where it felt like I didn't need to, where it took away that need for wanting to be connected to everybody in society? Like how does putting me into a room and punishing me like that fix that? It does not.
That's because America doesn't believe in mental illness.
It's crazy. Well, no, they only do that when there's school shootings and mass shootings, but that's a topic for another day. I think people like that, they needed to go. The whole criminal justice system needs to be rehabilitative in the first place. Really, it's just for punishment. It's just to take people out of society and keep another group of people in power. And that's all our criminal justice is for right now. It's not meant to cycle in people who people who messed up and they made a mistake, and it's gonna help them not make that mistake ever again. All it does is just put you in a box for a little bit, and it's just a bunch of like caged animals, really. And then they let you out, and then you go back out and do the same bullshit again, and then go back in. I think our recidivism rate, I saw a statistic in 2014 or 2015. It's after the first year of people being let out, I think 56% of people went back to jail. After 5 years, 75% of people went back to jail. That's horrible. That's a 25% success rate of people going to jail, quote unquote, learning their lesson, and then coming back out a better person. That's absolutely horrible, and our criminal justice system is doing a disservice to us. I've spoken a lot.
Somebody said, Roscoe said, Barack Obama commuted over 1,300 non-violent drug offenders during his presidency.
And there's still millions and millions more to be let out.
It's clearly not enough. Mm-hmm. I feel like the states that had already legalized marijuana, their people who had minor like marijuana offenses or dealing offenses should have been out. As soon as you legalize it, their record should have been expunged.
So a lot of people, they say, all right, the users should not go to jail, but the people who push, they should. I don't think so. I think for a lot of people, it's easy money. It's like
big money in prisons.
They're selling
money putting Black people.
They're selling a product, and it's easy money. Like this product that you can sell a really small piece for like $60. You can get like a really big chunk. You can split it up and make like 10x, 20x on your money. And it was just seen as a business. If they had other economic opportunities to make money, not as much, but to make money, then they probably take that over than doing something illegal and going to jail. But if you were caught not only dealing drugs, but you physically hurt people too, I don't know. I would have to make an exception for that, because really you're in jail for that, battery, assault, murder, things like that. Things you had to do to maintain your quote unquote drug empire, to maintain your block, to make sure that all belongs to you. I think you should go to jail for that, but not for the dealing of drugs, because that is going to become legal pretty soon. And I think in terms of that should be expunged. TikTok is going off.
Tila said, like I said in the podcast, it was only legalized because them white folks saw that bank. You're right.
The bank has existed the entire time.
But it wasn't in their bank account. That's the issue.
It could have been. It very well could have been. People have been doing opiates, have been smoking marijuana since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
I think it's also, you have to take into account that, at least in America, it was founded on Christian principles, and in their religion they see doing drugs as a bad thing. I think that originally was why it was outlawed. They could have always made money on it, but now more and more people are getting into government who are not so religious, and they're seeing, all right, we can make a whole lot more money on this. Like, let's kick these religious fools out. Let's push them over to the side. Let's have them smoke a joint and show them that it's okay, and open them up to having us create this empire around it.
Yeah.
Because, like, we could have been competing with these cartels in South America forever. We could have been competing, and we could have ended this drug war if we just participated in the dealing of drugs and not make it an actual physical war. But just make it a market war.
Spicy. What you said was just spicy.
Yeah, I got things to say, man. I got things to say. We're running out of time. We're running out of time. So I know. Wow, this is the last topic. There was two things that happened, like, in politics, like with code switching. I saw a lot of people when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she went to a black church, she started talking like she was from the Bronx, and a lot of her white critics, had words for that because they were like, why is she talking like that? She's just pandering. Where we would call that code switching. Yeah. But I don't know. I guess when you're in that position, it could be pandering, but it's like, so what? For me, it was like, so what? And then the other topic is Bernie Sanders. He called for, in one of his CNN town halls, that everybody who is in jail, regardless of their crimes, they're already being punished, their right to vote should not be taken away. Those are two well, I think that second one, that's like a whole new can of worms that we can open. I think we can keep the pod, but we only have like maybe 5 or so more minutes for the podcast, so
yeah,
perhaps we should save that for another time.
Okay, right. I'll write that down.
Bag of Tricks says one of the real reasons for weed being illegal was because of fear. A certain group of people were afraid black men would take their women because we would make their women more loose.
I'm sorry, keep reading.
The drug war was really putting people in jail. That's how they made tax. Yeah, and that's why we need to shut down this for-profit prison system, because these jails are getting paid by the government to keep people in beds. And so if you can just keep locking people up for low-level crimes and just putting absurdly mandatory minimums on it, you're just keeping a certain group of people in business. And then if you can even target a certain group of people that you don't ever want to see ever in your life, then you're knocking so many birds out with one stone. That goddamn thing is like a boomerang. You're right. I mean, if she's a Bronx girl, she's a Bronx girl. Let her speak to the barrio. Exactly. Well, she wasn't in the Bronx when she was talking. She was in a black shirt, like I said, but I think she was talking the way she relates to them, like the way she would have had she had been in the Bronx. And clearly that audience was completely comfortable with that. So I have no problems over here. You got anything, Harley?
No, man. I'm just listening. I'm just enjoying. Like,
I got energy.
I feel like if we keep going with this, we'll be on here much longer. So I'm trying not to like give more 2 cents so we can have something for the next podcast.
Oh, there'll be something.
Dr. Black Falcon said, are we going to ignore the fact that hemp and marijuana production was made illegal only because people were losing money in the lumber and paper business? And then he said, also, what's up? Hello, doctor.
I ain't ignoring that. I didn't even know that. Can you provide some historical context to that? You could hit us up on Twitter. You can either at the Cookout or at Harley Quinn and Cyforce. Show me an article on that where they talk about that's the reason why hemp and marijuana was made illegal, because I would love to read more about that.
This reminds me of the advice show before the controversy. He said, I think I'll find the link and shoot that. Oh, please, yes, definitely. If you send it to Twitter, I will not check it until after 10 o'clock tonight. Roscoe said hemp was supposed to be a paper alternative. Okay. That makes sense then.
I know they make shirts and they make rope out of hemp.
Yeah.
Why? I
used to have the hemp
why.
hacky sack ball.
Really?
So
could you burn it and get high?
A sustainable paper alternative, huh?
Could you burn it and get high?
I mean, I wasn't that smart. I was really trying to fit in with the kids at school playing hacky sack. So I wasn't smart to be like, let me unroll this and burn it. But no, hemp does not have THC in it. No.
Okay. It's a marijuana cousin. Okay.
Yeah.
So what? It just looks like it, but it don't taste like it. You got to break it down to me like I'm 5. Explain it to me, guys. Like this is pre-K.
So I guess the bottom line is no, you cannot get high from hemp.
So why can't they use any other plant product? Like what makes hemp so special that you can extend it and make like clothes and
you're asking
other
about
paper
the
products out of it?
properties of hemp. Like why was it? Oh yes, okay, that's an education that we all need.
It's a great moisturizer. So you could have took your hemp hacky sack and rubbed it against your face instead of using Vaseline, according to Tila.
Not if it was already made into cloth. I don't think so.
Never mind then. I'm acting crazy. Cake pop is just like question mark? What are you doing? Yeah, you just rub it on your face just like that. Like instead of having a lip balm, just take your hemp hacky sack and just rub it on your body. You know, just get it in all them pieces.
Y'all, please.
It helps with the acne.
Mind him. He is sorry. he is so sorry.
Falcon, Dr. Black Falcon says, same way you can have corn in the cob, then decorative corn, but hemp is easy to grow, especially in the South. All right, well, the South will rise again. Some people are gonna take that and send us all right, and I'm gonna stir up some bull.
And be like, look at these darkists. Yeah. They agreeing with us.
The South will rise again, yo. When I was this is like a little bit of a tangent, but I recently went to, because of my company, the company I work for, I got to go to the Magic versus the Raptors NBA playoff game, and they had like luxury box suite seats, so they allowed me to have two. Me and my girlfriend went, and one of the chants that they had for the Magic going against Toronto was "Beat the North." They would just beat the North, and I felt extremely uncomfortable saying something like that. I'm like, the North winning is the reason why I'm able to sit in this room. I don't know if I can do this. Yeah, they was like beat and they had a shirt too. It was like 2019 Orlando Magic. Remembers. Yeah, the North remembers. It said 2019 playoffs Magic Ignite #beat the North. I'm like, I'm not with it at all. I'm not with it. I'm using that shirt as a rag.
Canada. Straight up in the box seat. Oh, Canada.
I'll take some decaf
let's
weed.
not go into Game of Thrones talk because my heart is not ready. If you guys are in the Discord, we do have Game of Thrones night every Sunday. I think we're going to start an hour early. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But we're going to start an hour early so we can rewatch the last episode. So please get your tissue. Go to the bathroom beforehand. Mute your mics and all that good stuff. Come and cry with them. Because people about to die. Shit about to happen. Oh, God, I'm crying. Oh, man.
I will not be there.
I want to point out that Tila called you trash.
Where? Oh, wow. It says it right there. Highlighted. Cyforce is trash. Tila?
We're going to build a D&D character next at 4 p.m. We will not talk about Arya's sex scene, okay? We will not do that.
Is she old enough?
She's still my baby. Technically in the story, no, but on the TV show, sure.
Don't worry, Tila. I know you're messing. Don't worry. I can take a joke. I can take a joke.
Arya is 18. Okay, but still, okay, she's still my baby. She's still my baby, and I did not need to see that perfect side boob. I didn't need to see that.
I might have to tune into Game of Thrones if that's what we're talking about.
It was so good. It was a pretty just plunky side boob.
I haven't been on Game of Thrones since season 1.
Seriously?
Yeah, I fell asleep in every episode.
Oh,
maybe
wow.
Maybe it was a girl I was with at the time. Maybe, I don't know.
You did see a tear. I cried. I'm legit. I cried. Okay. I cried.
The popcorn eating one is so good. That popcorn eating one is so good. I need to get that emote.
But no. So guys, stay around. I don't think are we ending? It's almost 3:30.
Yeah.
How do you want to end?
It's time to end. So let's just end with what are we doing for the rest of the week? And also, you guys, for you guys who are here in chat, I want to know what were the this is like a thing going on Twitter. So let's just bring it here to the podcast. What were the last 5 jobs that you had before we go? So I'll go first. Okay. The last 5 jobs I had was I was a day laborer, so like someone who works in construction.
Yeah.
I was a resident assistant. I was a zombie, like an actor working in a haunted house. It was a all year round haunted house. So I was a zombie.
That's amazing.
I was a engineering intern at a defense company, and currently I am a electrical and computer engineer, working professionally, like a senior level engineer. So,
wait.
I went from working out in the fields into the office place in a matter of 10 years.
Yeah. He said, as an IT professional, those are common security questions. Well, if anybody want to take over my life, you can't make my credit any worse than it is. The only way we can go is up. So please come contact me. So the only way we can go is up. I've had odd jobs. I work now in the mental health field.
Blowing the whistle?
I was,
They blowing the whistle. You don't gotta be specific.
I won't get like, I'll just do like the generalization. I was store manager for a couple of years, and then I worked with aviation, and then I was a server there. There we go.
Okay.
So it's not like, a
humble come up. So,
man, I'm still coming up. I'm trying to make esports host and
that'd be
content
fire.
Creator my final. That's what I want to do.
How much does a host get paid?
On Twitch, doing like the big stage pretty soon. Harley's gonna be a home name. Hey, still famous.
How much does a host get paid?
Infamous. I can't read. What you say?
How much does a host get paid?
I don't know. And like, this is when I realized that, and I know it sounds stupid and very millennial, but this is when I realized that this is the job I want. Because any other job, I'm like, well, how much do I get paid? How can I do that? But like, this job is like, that seems like something I would enjoy. I want to have fun doing that. I want to have fun interviewing people. Mm-hmm. For me, it's the fun in it. And it's like, whatever the payment is, I've lived off making $9 an hour, like, I can make it work. I just want to enjoy what I'm doing. And I think that right there, I know that job is what I'm going to enjoy.
Okay, so we got Dungeons and Dragons coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's part of our creative. Is that part of the creative showcase for April? I'm not sure. But if you want to watch any zombies, anything horror related, feel free to stop by the Cypher. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Harley, how about you?
If you guys enjoy Dead by Daylight and any other games in Overwatch, then come join the Playpen. I stream on Monday, Tuesdays, late night Fridays, and Saturdays. I will be live tonight with my community play night, so that'll be probably late night after we get back from Avengers. But yeah, man, come and join the Playpen. I'll be glad to have y'all in here.
Tila says money is trash. Money is only trash in Fallout in that whole series, or if there's an apocalypse, because money has been replaced. So
money's not trash. Money is needed, but sacrificing my happiness for money is trash.
Absolutely.
That's trash.
Working for the man for him to get rich is trash.
That's Morris is trash. Hey, now you leave him alone.
Unhappiness. Yawning on camera is trash.
I mean, it's time to go. Okay, guys, so please stick around for the D&D character making. I cannot wait till we can do one big cookout D&D because I love D&D. So please go figure out how to make a character so Tila or somebody can make this campaign for me. Please.
I rebuke my rebuttal. Tila, you trash. I'm gonna spoon feed you some good old mac and cheese with seasoning and with toppings on top. Okay, your soul has been damaged clearly by UK mac and cheese. I will help you out. Until then, we'll see you guys next month with the extra podcast. Peace.
Mwah.